Sorry. Nancy, how many minutes? Okay. Oh, the call has been made. Okay, I can hear them through my ear. So we're starting. Betty Karoye Martin. Okay. Managing Director. Got that right? Because sometimes I twist the terminology around, so I'm like, let me just ask first. Yeah, and I prefer to look and sound stupid for 5 seconds than carry out the wrong information. Yes.
There was a time when I called Muluka CEO and he was the MD.
You see? You see? So I'm not wrong. So, okay, stand by. Good morning, Namibia and the world, and welcome to another session here at the Government Information Center. My name is Desire Kahia, and today we are having an in-depth look at one of our public enterprises, and that would be NamibRe, that is the Namibian National Reinsurance Corporation. And in the studio, I've got the lovely Ms. Betty Karoye Martin. She is the Managing Director for NamibRe. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Desire.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Thank you so much, and thank you for hosting us.
Well, we are actually more excited to have you on our platform. I think reinsurance, those are some aspects of life that very few of us know about and what it entails. And I'm sure some of us that are watching today have probably never heard of NamibRe. So I'm loving the fact that we are having you so that we can educate. I always believe that educating people on this platform is an exciting mission that is part of our mandates, yet at the same time, we can spread the wings and the platform to have others be able to do the same here. So I will allow you to delve right into it as Ms. Karoye Upi gives us an update on NamibRe's strategic operations.
Thank you so much, Desire. I'm definitely looking forward to be sharing what NamibRe stands for. So I'll be taking you through a presentation and just also highlight what our strategic intentions are, who we are, what we do, and why we exist, and how an important function we are doing as a reinsurance company. And I also want to mention that we are the only reinsurer in Namibia. We are state-owned, so we're currently 100% owned by government. However, we are having very interesting strategic intent that we will share with you this morning. Okay. So I'm looking forward to be taking you through who we are, where we're coming from, and how we contribute to the Namibian economy at large.
Wow, you have a huge undertaking, the only reinsurance company in the country.
Yes.
Wow, this I want to hear and find out, so please do enlighten us.
Okay. So I will take you through, we have the content of my presentation today will be who we are, like I've said, our strategy, our stakeholders engagements, and then also our brand enhancement, as we would not want to hear again that you have not heard about NamibRe, so after this you should be knowing who we are and what we do. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, most importantly, also our financial performance, I have taken it from the time I've joined NamibRe. I've joined in 2014, so I'll take you through up to 2023, and also just give you an overview of our last year, which have just come to an end in March 2024. And most importantly, I'll also share with you the future of NamibRe. We have recently been reclassified as Tier 3, meaning then we also have to present an integrated strategic business plan, which we are just busy in the process of finalizing, and it will be ready in the next 2 weeks. And then we will also share with you our journey from 2025 to 2029. So yes, who are we? Who we are? I will say I've mentioned it earlier that we are a public enterprise. We established to provide reinsurance services locally. However, we also work in the region, in the African space. So that is just part of our business to diversify. So we can proudly say that as a reinsurance company, we are international as well. Our mandate is to minimize the capital outflow from local insurance industry and keeping the money in country. So I will obviously share with you as I go along. NamibRe has been in operation since way back 2001, and I think many people will be surprised as to, wow, how have we been here all along? Yes, we are here for more than 20, I think now we're going for our 23rd, 24th year. We started with a capital investment of 20 million Namibian dollars. NamibRe started with a staff complement of between 5 to 7, and currently we are employing over 31 permanent staff members. That might not look too much, but it shows the growth that we have shown over the years. We are a highly technical institution in terms of our staff, our skills. NamibRe has also operated in the local as well as the regional space. As I've earlier said, that it is part of our business to diversify our business and to be having technical partners all over the rest of Africa. Currently, we write business risk in over 13 countries outside of Namibia, and we are still busy looking into expanding that number. Who we are is still, I think it's important for you to take note, who is NamibRe? So how do we stand for? We say our vision is to be the preferred reinsurer, and our mission is to mold and refine our business philosophy to unlock the full potential of our value chain, as well as while we're influencing and shaping the markets in which we are operate. Our values we have changed them, and one of the most important one is obviously sustainability. I will also share with you as to why sustainability is important, because as an insurance company, or reinsurance company, if you are uninsurable, we will not be able to stay in business if we don't look after our environment and what goes with it. Agility, I think that's also an important aspect, and it was proven by COVID that once you need to be agile in terms of to remain in business. Innovation, it's key to us to keep on innovating in whatever we do. And most importantly, a lot of people find it that we have fun as part of our values, and that goes with how we make sure that our staff are happy. We look after, take care of the mental health, and I think that was also emphasized quite a lot with COVID, where we do different initiatives that I will share with you as I go on with my presentations. And most importantly, integrity.
Okay. I love the fact that you have incorporated fun right from the top. And the word in itself, where it's placed right now, it sounds so awkward. Like, how do you have fun up there? But it speaks a lot to the importance of staff well-being, and the fact that you have taken precedence to say, from my understanding, to say that I am not here if my staff are not here, type of scenario. I don't know if I'm understanding that correctly, but where did that stem from?
Yes, we obviously had to convince our board to accept that. So, but when you when you bring it back to the actual value of it, it's about mental health. It's about the initiatives that we are creating. At the same time, it goes with fun as well. What we do is that we educate our staff, for instance, on reinsurance matters, on many other things through ways of doing it through fun activities. So when we say fun, it's not necessarily that we are not working. We normally link it to our business. So while we are maybe teaching them on sustainable practices, principles of sustainable insurance, or the SDGs, which is the Sustainable Development Goals, the ones that are relating to insurance and reinsurance, as we are educating on them, we have, for instance, a Monday session, which we call our Monday morning mingles, where we meet for 30 minutes, and we make sure we interact with the staff. We just check on the next staff member. We have developed a gym where our staff can go and train, and we do health session as well, like every 6 months, we get health experts to come in and check up on us, how we're doing, because it's important. We take our employees as our most important asset. And I think when you start to take care of the employee, they will take care of your business. So that has worked for us. We have built in where we do sessions together, we run together. We have a marathon that we host as NamibRe. And it has grown from strength to strength, where we meet with we use these interventions also to meet with our customer in a different space. So yeah, we have created interventions that through fun activities, we still do our work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is something that I will definitely take away from this one. I'm learning a lot, but this particular one just intrigued me. Thank you very much for that. As we continue, you were adding on to who you are, your visions, and your missions and so on. Let's continue with this presentation.
Thank you so much, Desire. So I'll focus just quickly on our strategic focus for the last 8-9 years. It goes so quick. I actually cannot believe that I am here. When I started, I also did not know much about reinsurance. But I did get onto the business of reinsurance, and they say once you're in this business, it's such it's so satisfying, and there's so much to do, and it's very wide, and you learn a lot. So it's a very good business to be in. So what we have focused on when I joined NamibRe many years ago, we reviewed our business and we compared what is it that our local industry is doing in terms of how the industry is growing. And we reviewed our foreign business at that time. I think, if I remember correctly, our foreign business was making up 10% of our total gross written premiums at the time. However, industry was growing at a very nice, steep pace, and NamibRe was stagnating. So we then realized that there's something that we have to look at. So as a business team, we reviewed it, and we found different strategies as to how NamibRe can grow with industry, because the intention was as such. So our local growth of the industry and completeness of our gross written premiums is what we have picked up, that we needed to do more work on it. So we made sure that we did some research and we found out that what is the major issue. And once we started, one of the major issues that we pick up is that we need to apply our act as intended and enhance our compliance with legislation. In 1998, the act was promulgated, but in 2001 it was made, we started with operations. However, that time industry was not 100% on board, and they had a market agreement which we then felt was not applying the act as intended. So we started to engage industry, which obviously resulted in us having major challenges with them. However, I can proudly say that over the last 5 years, we have been engaged with industry, and yes, last year, March, we settled and we had an agreement once again as to how we want to proceed. And we can proudly say that industry has come to the table, and we have built a very good insurance business. I'll show you the numbers now. I'll just quickly wanted to go through the strategic focus, and then I'll show you the detailed numbers. We have addressed our HR issues back then. There were some staffing needs requirements, and I think we have very well addressed that by we've recruited some qualified staff members, and we have also trained Namibians, because that's a field that was not well known to Namibian people, and we can proudly say that we are most probably 100% Namibian owned, and we have also Namibian, all of our staff are Namibian. And it's at this stage I can say we also learned to organically grow the business and also grow our staff members. We can proudly say that we have a staff member that started as from the lowest level of being in the cleaning and you know, that and she has grown herself that today she can proudly say she's an assistant manager in the claims department. So those are the initiatives that we can say has really shown. So we enhance internal relations and also team cohesion. That was also part of the HR initiatives that we have started to develop. Update processes, systems and policies. I will also share with you as I go on. Enhance NamibRe brand locally as well as regionally. And here I've mentioned that we had a business of 10% foreign and 90% Namibian, but we had also an analysis there to see, do we have profitable business? And at the same time, we made the adjustment of saying, let's cut out all the business that are bleeding us, and we started all over. And today we can say we're approximately at 7%, so which we still feel is good, and it's growing, and we have built very good, strong relationships as well. The latest one that we've added is incorporate sustainability and ESG into our business operations. I'll also share as I go on with the presentation.
Okay.
So here, our milestones for the previous business strategy plan that has just come to an end I can proudly say that we have grown our gross written premiums from 171 million to 858 million over the space of 8 to 9 years, which is an impressive growth. Obviously, there's some major strategic intents that we had there. We have also, our UPI has also moved from 68 to 76 million. Another impressive growth is our assets. We have gone from 210 million to over 1 billion. And I think that is one we are priding ourselves that we could reach the 1 billion target that we have set ourselves in terms of our gross written premiums as well as our total assets. Shareholders' funds has also grown from 151 million to 256 million. And then our dividends, we have also given government something back, which range from annually from 2 million to 10 million, the last dividend that we have given. So stakeholders relationships, we have also focused on that. Brand visibility, we did a rebranding of NamibRe, and we have also created some other value addition services which are listed in there. So we have also operational excellence. We have improved our operational policies, made sure that we reviewed our HR policies where it was necessary and where we needed to make the necessary changes. I can proudly say that we have good corporate governance structures in place. Our compliance, from the day I started, we were paying penalties to NAMFISA. To this day, I've not paid one single penalty to NAMFISA, and we can proudly say that over the past few years, we have definitely meet our targets, and I think I will highlight it with by saying that we have, when I joined NamibRe, we had a disclaimer of an opinion. And that is something that you do not want. It shows that your financials are not in a good state, or your books. And we, since 2014, we have an unqualified and audit opinion, and also timely financial statements in terms of we do deliver, we make sure that we have annual financial statements ready, and I think we can pride ourselves with that. And I think state-owned enterprise, I think I'll show this, the schedule also as I go on. They do an assessment of where you are in terms of compliance, and I think NamibRe can proud ourselves that we have done quite well on that as well. Learning and growth, I think we have also grown our staff. Most of them has improved their studies. They have studied while they are with us. We can proudly say, as of last year, we got our first qualified chartered insurer, and we striving to get more. We also have an NGAP, which is called NamibRe Graduate Program, where we have successfully also had a 100% pass rate last year. So we really, the initiatives are there, and we continue to strive. We also have a bursary scheme that is making sure, when we started initially, we were focusing on getting more actuaries on board. We can proudly say that we did get actuaries on board to qualify at university level, and we have released them to the market. Some of them are working in the industry locally, so we are proud of that, and we're also then training for the Namibian market at large.
Wow, it's a lot of milestones actually, and these are things that we don't get to see a company go through, and how you work through it to actually ensure that you come out of the other side of it. What sat with me was the penalties that you used to pay. If we may, just quick highlights. Do you believe it's the policies that you have changed, or what was creating the challenge that caused these penalties that you have now overcome? Can you just give us an idea of what you did there?
Yes, I think that's quite obviously the first thing you do an analysis as to what is going wrong. Yes, it helps to have policies and to have set frameworks as to how you do your work. But I think what came out of here is it was a matter of maybe whether someone was not doing their work, or so it's not paying on time. So it's not that the institution didn't have the money to pay, but it's maybe paying late. So you then have to pay late penalty fees, or you don't give your quarterly reports on time. So it's just a non-compliance. But we made sure that we started to focus on what is it that we are not complying with, what is it that we can comply better with, and we address those specific. What I always say is, like, if you don't plan, you obviously gonna guarantee to fail. But if you start doing your planning and start to focus on those things that shouldn't go wrong, it's the same like when we said we had it as a key performance area to say we will, for the next few years, have it on our target to have our audited financial statements done on time and within, obviously without any emphasis of matter. So it's not just done on time, but also make sure that the processes and the procedures are done in the right way, so that you get a clean audit. So when you're doing something, you must also make sure that you're not just doing it for the sake of getting the tick, but you're doing it also to get the best result. So that we had those specific focuses, and I think that resulted in, and being the way we are measured, I mean, that's how we were getting our performance bonuses, and I think we had to focus on making it work. And,
okay. Yeah. I love the fact that you added that one in, where the bosses are being made to work and make sure that the work is done for that extra money that comes through. I'd like to actually also have a look at the graduate program that you spoke about in the bursary. Actuary, have you seen an increase of interest, or is it still one of those fields that doesn't really have a lot of our youngsters looking into it? And if it's the latter, what do you think causes that?
Yeah, I think there is definitely the biggest challenge that any student are having is it's the financial capability, being able to go to university. Now, when it comes to fields like actuary, chartered accounting, it's also the exposure that you're getting. So it starts very early. For you to want to go in those fields, there's a lot of elements that matters. The last one will be the financial, but in between there's a lot of other facts that will matter, such as remembering on my own when I was growing up, you need to have someone who will expose you that there's such a field to start with. So if you don't know that you can become an actuary, you won't become one. So there need to be initiatives on the school level to create that awareness that there is such a field. And I think the other important one is then secondly, to make sure that to know what is it that is expected from you to go into that field. And I think I've classed it the same with chartered accounting because it's a similar requirement, and that requirement is mathematics. So you need mathematics. You don't even need accounting to become a chartered accountant. I think that you need it, but it's not the main requirement is you need to have your mathematics at the right level. I think that is where I will answer you that's where the interest goes away. It's not that maybe people don't want to study it. It's just that if you don't have mathematics on, say, I think when you get to grade 10 or grade 12, say grade 10, when you make the choice, I think, or grade 8. If you don't make grade 8, yeah. So if you don't make that choice there, you're already out of the system. So I think those are the exclusions that automatically take out the students. And then you need to be a best performer as well. So yeah, because at university, it is those degrees do require special effort. So we started to finance those, doing those interventions. And I think my HR team was also very, they go to career fairs to make sure they create that awareness amongst the students as well at a much earlier level, where the school children are coming, they tell them this is the field to go. So once that awareness is created, I think it becomes much more easier to widen the pool so that the student can know, I have to work hard from day one. I don't have to wait to go to university because then it will be too late. So that is where we need to create the pool there to make it a bit wider in order for more students. But I think it is possible to become an actuary or to become a chartered accountant once we, institutions such as ourselves, provide the financing part of it.
We just had a look at milestones, but now we want to tap into sustainability. How is that coming about with NamibRe?
Yeah, so with sustainable insurance, for us, that's a strategic goal and a strategic value that is very dear and close to us. So NamibRe, since late 2019, has become a signatory of UNEP 5, Principle of Sustainable Insurance, a global sustainability framework of the United Nations Environmental Programme, Financial Initiative. NamibRe also became a founding signatory of the Nairobi Declaration of Principle of Sustainable Insurance in 2020. We were part of a group of 10, and today we can proudly say we are a group of 150 insurers that are coming together. And the aim is that we want to get from the global north over R1 billion worth of financing that we can then utilize to write over 14 billion of premiums over the next 4 to 5 years. I think we've got a target of 2030. And this is specifically focused on disaster recovery and sustainable insurance, the future of where we are moving towards. And maybe to explain to you in normal, for the men on the street to understand is that why does sustainability fit in? Now, as an insurance company, you all know that we have many perils. We've got floods, we've got drought now, and we've got disaster. Touch wood, Namibia, we've been very blessed there are other countries that someone was saying, like one of our neighboring countries, every year they have different types of peril or disaster happening there. So then it becomes challenging for the insurance sector because the insurance sector is made such that you survive on obviously that you insure, and obviously if that insurance, if that disaster doesn't happen, then it's obviously you covered and the person who insured is also covered. But if it happens, but now this is where it comes in. If these perils become very frequent, us as the insurance and reinsurance sector, we become unsustainable in the sense that, and that's why sustainability comes in to say, are we looking after our environment? Are we looking after what goes with the climate? Because it will impact on our business. Are we looking at nature? So that is where we then coming in as when we're doing our business, do we, and I think I have it also here, as a sole reinsurer in Namibia, the corporation has a significant role to play in influencing the adaptation of ESG principles in risk management. So ESG, I'm sure everyone knows, is the environment, is the social and the governance aspect of a business. And we have seen that the trend is that if you do address those specific areas, your profitability can also be impacted, hopefully in a positive way. So consideration for ESG issues across all spheres of our operations, and that's very important, our underwriting policies, our product development, our investment decisions have galvanized, obviously, the need to introduce an additional pillar which is part of our corporate strategic direction for the next 5 years. So we will focus on, because maybe if I take the underwriting policies, for instance, if we don't cater for making sure that we have a just transition in terms of energy transition, it could be that we also have technical partners, which is NamibRe, Africa-Re. They can tomorrow just say, we're not underwriting coal anymore. And for them to do that, the economy will suffer. Us, as a reinsurer, will also not be able to carry the load alone. So it's very important to understand what is it that the major players are doing and how are we adjusting to it in terms of sustainability.
Very true, very true.
Yes, so I am fortunate to be, like I said, we were part of the 10 global founding members of the Nairobi Declaration, and like I've mentioned, we do education on sustainability. We training other insurers as to what is it, why are we in this space, what can we do as insurers to and reinsurers to do, and brokers, the whole intermediaries and supply chain. What can we do in the ecosystem to make sure that we are doing sustainable business for the future, and we don't just wait until one day someone come and tell us, but you can't do this anymore. NamibRe is also, we participate on COP 27 and 28, and we have also, we can proudly say that we have been part of the delegation that went there to fight for the loss and damage fund, which will obviously, it's where we're saying if we as Africa, because if you take in Africa, we emit almost close to 3%, but we are taking of more than 96 to 97% of what is happening elsewhere in terms of climate and its impacts. So our people suffer most. And I think when we talk about the loss and damage fund, it's always brings me much more closer to my heart, because here it's really the poor people that suffer most, in the sense that if you should immigrate from where you are, say for instance, you are in the northeast, they just tell you tomorrow you have to move, there's a flood coming. Now when you move, that time, what will you take? You take your basics. You will not take your house or your cultural values with you. And that's where we're saying there's a whole loss. It's not just economic loss, but you also lose a bit of your culture. And this is what we're saying needs to be replaced. And yeah, so the insurance sector is looking at how we can do that. And yes, then I'm also been elected to serve on the UNEP-FI Global Steering Committee as a co-chair. And that is important for us as Africa to say we are on the table, and through we do a lot of initiatives. And normally what the Global North always also asks is that, what is it that Africa wants? What works for Africa? So it's good to be at the table, but it's also good to make our contribution to the table and make sure that the African voice is heard. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, that is a whole lot, and I love the fact that you are covering so many spheres with regards to your sustainability, not just from an internal point of view of us as a company per se, but also generally looking at the communities around you, and also your continent as a whole. As you're stating there, being at the table is one of the most important things. And I believe that is one thing that our late president lived by very strongly, that he felt that I cannot have somebody else speak for me.
Yeah.
only I as an African can speak for me as an African, because you don't know who I am.
Absolutely.
So I'm loving that. I'm actually adoring that about NamibRe. And as we are stating, we are learning, and the platform that we use here is to educate not only ourselves, not only the youth that we keep targeting, but any other person on the street who will now be able to know what NamibRe does and what it stands for. And if they have a question or they need help, they at least have an idea of who they can go to. As we continue our presentation, there is nothing that can take place without a group of people coming together to ensure growth in that particular project or sphere of life. Stakeholder engagements. So can you highlight that a bit with regards to NamibRe?
Yes. No, thank you so much. I think in terms of our stakeholders, for us, we have identified them as, from the very beginning, as a key player. That our stakeholder engagement, we have developed a strategy that is centered about customer intimacy. And with that, we mean those relationships that we build there, the interpersonal relationships, because in the insurance, or particularly the reinsurance sector, we are very much focused on the business. You need to trust the next person. It's very much about trust. So if you give me bad business this year, next year I will not put you on my treaty again. So we work on that. Like, if it's always long term. You cannot think you win today, and so when. Because, so that's very important for us to build those relationships. So what we have done, we've also made a whole list of who our stakeholders are. Like we know very well that our success is only if our stakeholders or our key players are there for us. We have technical partners, we have our ministry. I think interventions such as us, I think it should be applauded that you are having this intervention where you can share with the rest of the public as to who is NamibRe and what we stand for, how do we contribute to our GDP in this country, and how do we contribute to when disaster happened. I mean, COVID happened, and I can proudly say that we did pay a lot of BIs, and we're still standing. So, and I think through those interventions, it has shown that we have a place to play. And normally when that happens, my partners always tell me, but you are in the business of paying claims, so why are you complaining? So yes, that's why we are here. We are there for the time. So when, like normally, just as an example, when something starts to burn, my people, when we're sending each other messages, they will first ask, is it on our treaty? Is that our business? So the first thing you worry is like, okay, am I covered? Am I covering that risk that has just taken place? Yeah. So yes, NamibRe is a key stakeholder. Key stakeholders include obviously our shareholder. We work very well with our shareholder. They're always available. It's our board, our regulator, and obviously our normal clients, our insurance, reinsurance, brokers, technical partners, and the media at large. I think the media also play a critical role, and our staff, we cannot leave them out as well.
Mm-hmm. It's good that everybody is covered in this, but I would like to also know, so that we can just highlight everybody there, what are some of these stakeholder engagement milestones that you've had? And because it's good, you mention it, but if you can have some form of reflection that allows for your accountability to prove that, yes, we did do this. Here's proof of it. Yes, we were there. Here's proof of it. So can you just highlight a few of those for us, please?
Yes, no, thank you so much, Desire. We have quite a lot of those milestones that we do specifically where we engage our stakeholder. As we speak today, we're also hosting an oil and gas roundtable. So we have quite some of the industry players there as well. We have our International Women's Day celebrations that we do. We have established over the last 3 years the Namibia Women in Finance and Insurance Summit, which we do with the asset managers and the bankers. And it has developed from, obviously when COVID started, we could only be 10 in a room or 20. And we can proudly say that we work with our international and our African reinsurers. They support the event, and it has grown too much. I think the numbers are now 300 and more. So yes, then we have our CEO roundtable that we celebrated our 20-year anniversary with a gala dinner, and we had speakers from all over the globe that came and presented, and we had a very good event in Swakopmund. We also did, we have an annual NamibRe Golf Day. This year we are co-hosting it with our Africa Insurance Organization event that I'll share with you also. We have our annual run, like I've said, and it has grown. And recently I was doing the Two Oceans half marathon, and when we were coming back, someone was mentioning to me that, can you please make NamibRe run a qualifier for Two Oceans? And I think we will definitely gladly adhere to that. My team are listening, and I'm sure they will take it up as to how can this happen. Because that at the same time we also then serving our public. So through these interventions, we're not just looking at what is best for us as we started as a small, just a run for us as NamibRe, and it has grown to be one of the major events on the calendar for some time in October. So we also have our annual trainings that we are doing on the live side as well as on the short-term side. We've done business breakfast with industry. We are definitely trying to do what a reinsurer should be doing, not in the traditional sense, but more in the value addition sense. I think lastly, we're hosting the Africa Insurance Organization, and I think I'll share it, maybe it's also still coming, but just as one of the milestone events that are upcoming in the next 6 weeks, so we can actually start a countdown. And it's very, it's something huge for us as a country as well, where we will be hosting over 1,000 delegates to, this is just, showing
of the golf days.
Yeah.
But I would like to come back to the conference in itself. What is the conference really about? And I think the most important thing that always comes to my mind is, what are we trying to achieve with it?
Yes. I think that's a very important question, because for us, conference is not just a normal conference. We actually do bilaterals. We do our meetings there, because as the reinsurers, we have annual meetings, especially on the short-term side. Every year you sign a new contract. Now, meaning that you need to be going all over the rest of Africa or the rest of where you are doing business, going to make sure that the building that you're going to write is still standing. Going to make sure that building that relationship, because otherwise the person will also take you off the treaty. So it's important when we have this conference, that's where we do our meetings. We meet, we make sure that if there are issues in terms of claims, we sort them out. So it's a whole, except for the conference where you also will get the value addition of what is the latest, what's happening in terms of IFRS 17, which is the latest thing coming on board for the insurers and reinsurers where we had to comply. And what is the latest trends in terms of innovation, AI, all the sustainability aspects, all those people will meet them at this one venue. We have interventions, and Africa Insurance Organization is the biggest, it's the premier event for insurance and reinsurance and any other intermediaries. And the good thing that Namibia was selected to host, it's not something that just happens every day. I think it's once in you go through a very strict selection process, and there's a lineup of countries. So we have already started this initiative 10 years ago, myself and my team, and our turn is coming now. So we will be hosting, and we're really looking forward to have over 1,000 delegates. We already almost subscribed at 1,000, so it could be 1,200 or more. But yes, Namibia will experience all the captains of industry from the insurance and reinsurance sector.
Wow. And I think us here at the Government Information Center do hope that we will be able to have you again on this platform as the time draws nearer, so that we can gauge more details from you. As you're saying, it is a first time for us to host this, so it's a milestone, one that we can all be part of and celebrate as a country. There is something that you stated earlier on. You were speaking about rebranding. And at this point, I would really love to hear from you. As a company, NamibRe, what is it that you do with regards to brand enhancement?
Yes, obviously we do not have too much of a big budgets, but we do, under the budgets that we are having, we manage to use our thought leadership to do our branding. So we use, by training, especially our social medias, we are quite active. So we use them to portray what NamibRe stands for, what is reinsurance, what is sustainability. So we use that to be interacting with our public to get to know what is NamibRe, what do we stand for. We also made sure that with our rebranding that the nation got to know about us. We had a whole event, and so we use different media engage, and obviously through our initiatives that we have mentioned earlier, we make sure that we are like shown out there to the world.
I think I'm going to be poaching some of these ideas. NamibRe is just a band of very exciting people thrown together, because every turn there is learning taking place, but from a very fun perspective. Even the rebranding is coming in from a fun, educative perspective. I'm loving that. Time is never on our side. Time is actually never on anybody's side. But as we're saying, we're trying to get to have you learn as much as we possibly can feed you from this platform about NamibRe. And at this point, I would love to find out from Ms. Karwaihe Martin, securing the next 5 years and beyond. How's NamibRe doing that?
That's absolutely a very good question. We are looking forward to the next 5 years. I mean, what is the future if you don't plan for it? Mm-hmm. So as NamibRe, we are, just like I said, we are presenting our ISBP to the minister's offices in the next 2 weeks. We have actually by 1st of April, by 28th of March, we have presented our annual business plan, and we submitted in time, so we can proudly say we are in compliance. So the next level is now to hand in our business plan in the next 2 weeks. But what I want to mention, that it was absolutely a very exciting prospect in preparing it. We went through a whole sessions through with management, through with our staff. I think the latest one was also involving the staff to come on board in terms of our new vision. So we're also looking at maybe adjusting our vision, because is it still the same, or are we moving to another level? So our ISPP, obviously, like I said, we had a agreement that we signed with the local industry, and we're looking forward to implement it. And obviously, the strategic plan will be the foundation, and we will prepare the corporation for the future business operations and how we will realign its strategic intent to remain profitable. I mean, that's important for us. We cannot be in business without being profitable. That's very important. And I think as a state-owned enterprise, we need to always focus on what are we giving back to our country, and to continue to secure the insurance industry and serve the industry through value addition. So we also want to pave the way for the implementation of some key components of our agreement that we have done with industry. And one of them, also because of the way we do business as a reinsurer, you need to have capital to write business. So, and that is where we will, as NamibRe, focus on recapitalization.
Okay. I won't let you go before you give us or shed some light for us on the strategic focus for the years 2025 to 2029. Just give us a few of those.
Okay. So here we will grow our revenue from a non-per-policy sources, because currently we have also per-policy sources, but I won't go in that detail. So the key is to expand the business in the foreign markets and product development. And I think we have also started a product that we are working on, how we can support government with a sovereign risk product, a risk solution of risk transfer, specifically for the agricultural sector. So we are looking at that. We obviously looking also how to broaden and diversify our investment income. Prudent cost containment strategies, that's important, to make sure that obviously that when you're growing your business, that it's growing at a sustainable rate. You cannot, I mean, it's nice to employ everyone that you need, but is it also, is it affordable? So that's for us also key. Strengthen and enhance strategic partnerships and offer unparalleled customer care and what we refer to as customer intimacy. Enhance the NamibRe brand, that's for us key, and we will continue doing that in various ways. Strengthen operational processes and attain full compliance to legal instruments and governance frameworks. And I think there I can proudly say we were already at 70%, which was one of the highest compliance in terms of state-owned enterprises. And we're aiming for nothing less than 100% in the coming month or two. So we're looking very forward to that. We're also looking at, obviously that goes without saying, that attain organizational synergy and team cohesion, and training and development to enhance and align our staff skills to strategy.
Okay. I'm loving it because I think also it ties into my next question, where there are very clear-cut goals that are being set out in this focus, and I believe you have something that you follow, and I think it's a lot of companies, a scorecard, and specifically a governance scorecard. Can you just maybe in the interest of time, just a few that you can pick from this particular scorecard that you feel are quite important to you, and maybe how you rate it through the scorecard?
Yes. Thank you so much, Desire, for that very important question. Yes, you need to, we follow the balance scorecard, which is specific in terms of finance, in terms of operations, and in terms of governance. And I think for us, the most important is obviously to make sure we comply with our main stakeholder, which is our shareholder. And they have a specific scorecard called, in terms of PEGA 2019, which focus on governance agreements. It focuses on having a business plan, having an annual plan. So I think for me, having a business plan is the most important, and also the annual plan. And obviously then your budgets, having the budgets in time, and then the risk profiling of the organization. So we can proudly say like I said, we had that 70%, but that was now without our business plan will be now added in the next week or two. And that will, and then obviously then from the business plan, we will do a governance agreement also with our board, and that will definitely take us straight to the 95 to 100%. So those are all elements that makes you function better as an institution. So they need to be there for you to have the clear guidelines as to who's responsible for A, who's responsible for B, and where do C and D come in.
Yeah, very good, very good. As I said, as a human being, I'm learning a lot, and I think something like this, a governance scorecard, it actually assists quite a lot on the aspect of accountability, because the quicker you can figure out what went wrong, the quicker you can fix it and turn it all around. As I stated, time has no manners. It robs us of good times and lessons that we are trying to learn, and it is at that point, unfortunately, where we do have to bid you farewell. Ms. Karwehe Martin, thank you very much for gracing our platforms, but before I do actually make you walk out the door, what are your last remarks that you would like to impart? In conclusion, I just want to say thank you so much for creating this platform. And I think it is a very, very excellent platform for us to also portray to our nation as to why state-owned enterprises need to exist and how they fit in to serve the government at the end of the day, and also serve the public. So, and also for them to know that there are profitable state-owned enterprises, which we can proudly say as NamibRe, we are one of them. And we are looking forward to continue serving the nation and bringing our best self and best profitable self to the table. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. I like the fact that she says best profitable self. That is I think that is the main aim that anybody is running for, and it's always good to put it out there. Thank you once again for being with us. That is how we come to the end of our session this morning. I'm grateful that you tuned in, and I hope that you were able to take a lot away, because I didn't take a little away from this session. I learned a whole lot, and I believe the youth that are watching this, there are prospects for you. There's a market that you can very much go into, and it does not have to be boring. I think that's the other thing also, that people look at some of these fields of studies as boring fields of studies, but as Ms. Karwai Martin indicated, there's a whole lot of fun that can be had while you carry out these duties in these industries. From myself, Desire Kahiha, along with my technical crew behind the scenes, we say thank you for tuning in. Goodbye until tomorrow.